Hello investor, my name is Noel Cardona. I'm a property investor in the UK. Been doing this for several years now, and I wanted to create this video series to show you what you normally have to go through to from the idea of buying a property and the whole process to the very end until you rent it. Showing you step by step with a level of detail you don't normally get what it takes to do it. Hopefully to inspire you, hopefully to encourage you to do it, and hopefully to show you how this game is played. Because as far as I know, it's a game, very complex one in the UK, but very rewarding once you know how to play it. So come with me. Watch each of the series, each of the video series as they go. Subscribe so you get a notification, and by all means leave me your questions if you have any, and then you can reach me at info@propertycashflow.co.uk. Find me there. I'll be answering your questions as well. Happy to collaborate, happy to help you, anything you need. Okay, now without further ado, the property you see on the picture is the property we are going to be looking at during this series. Is a property which has two bedrooms, one bathroom, a spacious one for the size of the property and for the price. That's what I liked it. But I'm going to take a step back during this process to go from the very beginning, why I'm investing, where I'm investing, how I went through the search of the property and short list this one, how you go and see the property inspected, how you put the offer, what documents you would be required to put through, the financing options so you can actually get your offer accepted. In this case, we had to increase our offer after we put the first one. I'll talk more about that. Then I'll talk about strategies available for these, restrictions due to planning, builders, quotes, you name it, everything from the very beginning to the very end. Where this project is actually set up and running. Okay, because I think it's very important. Once you see the whole path, the whole project, is going to be amazing for you to have the full picture. And something very important here is for you to know that I'm an investor. I'm not a builder. I'm not an architect. I'm not a planning officer. I am an investor, and all what I'm going to show you here, it's basically going to be from that point of view. An investor working to create assets which can create as passive income as passive as possible as that could be. It's not passive income doesn't exist in a 100% level. There is always some work involved, some risk, but certainly you can fine-tune it, set it up and delegate it so it's as passive as possible, right? So let's talk about a little bit about the property, a little bit more, so you know what we are getting into, and then we'll take some steps backs to actually get where we need to get. Okay, so let me just go to this property as such. This is the bathroom of the property. Okay, quite spacious one. It's got a shower, it's got a bath, a little bit outdated, I can see, but as an investor, what I was interested in this property as such was the size of this bathroom, right? Let me close that. This is one of the rooms. I think it's the biggest room in the house, right? As you can see, the house has got some work done or need some work done, but they were doing some damp coursing as probably from the roof and from the walls. There was some work to be done there. We'll look at this this table later on during the series, okay? But I just wanted to show you a little bit more about the property itself. So that's the front, that's the bathroom, that's the lounge, so it's got a lounge right there. The kitchen is quite big actually, because it's got already an extension there. That's the important bit. This is the living room, which also has some damp cores there, which I think needs to be it needs to have something extra done right there. And this is yeah, the second bathroom. Second bedroom, and there you have 2 bathrooms, 1 bathroom. That's what the property is. The property was £80,000 in the market. It had no floor plan, okay, created, but it did have a freehold actually. It did have the dimensions, as you can find them there. We'll talk more about that, but that's the property we're going to study during this course. And that's what I want you to come with me and go through this journey on this property. Hopefully it will inspire you again, as I said. Hopefully it will show you and teach you from my mistakes and what I have to tell you about that. So in terms of what we'll talk today on this video, apart from what I just told you, is the location. Okay, then in the next video series we'll talk about the strategy, what I'm going to do with this property, then the search, and then inspecting the property, and then we will add bullet points to this list, because as it is an in progress process, then I will grow it as such. Okay, so I think it's great that you will get a level of detail that you would only get in a mastermind, or you would only get on a one-to-one coaching. But again, hopefully this will inspire you to jump, to go and invest, to work for your freedom, for your family freedom, for the freedom of choice that comes with being able to create assets. So hopefully that will give you that. So location. That's the first one, right? The type of location I'm talking here is a global one in terms of where in the country you need to invest, and then from then on I'll show you some details as to how to do it, find out where locally you need to invest, or you could invest. That's very important. To begin with, let's have a look at this map. Okay, not that one, but that one. Hopefully you see this UK map here, right? And just let me delete that there. Where in the country to invest? That's a very good question. Okay, there are all sort of opinions, right? And I think what I've learned in the process is that you could kind of divide the country in 3 areas. This is not taking into account Scotland, right? Because Scotland another level, but if you can divide that there. So you have the south, you have the Midlands, and you have the north. In the south, as you probably know, London being there, prices are huge. Building works are actually very high, and in the north, if you look into the prices in the north, you will see they are the lowest in the country. Making or refurbishing a property in terms of labor is cheaper than doing it in the south. Okay, and in the middle, in the Midlands, you have things, depending on where you are, you have things more similar to this area than to that area. I've worked with investors who prefer working in London, right? But those investors, I remember Tony, he actually lives in Russia and he invests in London quite heavily. He used to live in the UK. And he said to me, no, I invest in London because the returns are higher in London once you manage to get through the whole property, which he's potentially right. The problem is that the capital requirements for investments in London, as I said, are very high. That doesn't happen in the north. Okay, in the north, we are talking about getting, for example, one studio for 30k. Okay, and then you can get a property to refurbish. Some way 120k, and that's could be easily a 3 or 4 bedroom property, whatever, depending on what you're looking at. Okay, but you see in London with 120k you hardly will get the down payment for a property, right? And this 120k you would only have to put 25% of that investment, obviously plus refurbs that you need to do, which is different, right? But that's one of the reasons, right? Is the capital requirements of those investments in the north, especially in the area of Liverpool where I invest. Especially there, I know the area very well, so that's what I'm talking about. But again, extrapolate what I'm saying to other areas in this video series, and then hopefully you can you can learn to get what I call or to find what I call the high growth area. That's what I call it. Some people call them golden field or golden mine field, just to find those properties that really work for them. Okay, so high growth areas, I call them. Actually, if I go before I move there, oh yeah, if we just draw this again. As I said, the average price, let's say the average price in London is about 300k. The average price in the Midlands could be about 150k. Okay, these numbers are not completely exact, what I need to do, but what I want you to see is that one of the reasons money is flowing to the north, quite a lot actually, and I'll later in the video series I'll explain what is the effect for that, immediate effect for that for you on your investments. This is what I call the gap. Okay, so this example is 150k market price, average market price for a property gap. And this area, the government is pouring money in projects, in rebuilding the area, bringing transport, bringing tourism, bringing everything that can be brought to an area to actually increase the standard of living of it, which means that sooner or later, I think with my investor colleagues, we say about 4 to 5 years, potentially this gap is going to be closing very fast. And this gap is a gap that, apart from, let's say, the money that you make when buying, okay, and the property that I show you, I make money buying there because it's a spacious one, and you will see later on what that means. The other one is the money that you make on your strategy, which we will talk about that as well. Okay. Apart from those two, you will get the money from the closing gap, which is at the same time you get an increase in value from these two, you're getting an increase in value on those two. So hopefully the high growth area, as I call it, where you invest, will have this gap. Sometimes this gap is from city to city, sometimes it's from council to council. It really depends, and that's why one of the words, given the complexity of the regulations in the UK property market, one of the words that you need to hopefully pay attention to is specialize in a high growth area. Okay, we will see later on why that's important, but you know, as you probably know already, the UK, I know, I just an example there, I don't know. The UK is divided in numerous councils, right? Kent, Liverpool, you have Sefton, Warrington there, you have Bournemouth, you name it, it's lots of different councils. And even though the planning, which we will talk about later on, the planning in another video, planning regulations have a national guidance. It's like a pyramid, right? Like national guidance. At the base, the councils can actually decide or try to apply certain things of that. Okay. And again, I don't want to make it complicated, but it works that way. So you have a national law, then you have the council placing variations within those laws. Then you have within those councils, you have, which is related to that, you have special areas which you need to take into account other regulations, and that will restrict your investment. So basically what I mean is, by specializing in a high growth area where you have 1, 2, or maximum 3 councils, you will know how to navigate the regulations for each. And the reason why is because banks and lenders align themselves to those regulations. Okay, so for example, if you were to buy a HMO in an area where you cannot have HMOs, you can still have it, but the problem is, once you go to the bank to lend you money, you will be in trouble. They won't lend you money because you didn't do things as they needed to be. So hopefully that will give you the first step as to the location of the area where you need to invest, where you want to invest. Very important. Whatever you want to do, if you want to do it, if you're an investor who wants to do things local, you want to do it local, like maybe an hour away from where you live, that I would say is local, or you can manage and you have a little bit more business experience, and then you can do it, I don't know, from 5 hours onwards, and then be able to manage this remotely. Okay, that's where property investment becomes a business. Okay, where you can actually manage and you feel confident, and you find a way to create systems and delegate those. In terms of business, remotely would be to find an agent, but then again, you need to find an agent who's doing things properly, right? Because in the UK you have so many bogus agents, so many cowboys, builders who won't take into account the regulations and just do whatever they think, whatever is faster, without taking any care about tenants, landlords, owner, investor. You need to be careful right there, okay? And I think partly these videos are for that, to educate you, to help you navigate this minefield, which is UK property investment. Minefield if you are looking at using advanced strategies. I think that's what I mean. And it's very important that you educate yourself, that you do your due diligence every time, and then don't fall into the trap of passive income is forgetting about your properties. That's not the case. I always advise a little bit of involvement in your investments, so you know what's happening, and even if you spend 2-3 hours a month in your investments, so you know everything is working well, and find out if any risks are coming to affect your investment, then that's a worth it piece of time that you can invest in protecting your protocol and ultimately yourself and your family. Okay, so hopefully that's gives you the information about the location. The property, as I said, that we are investing on is right there. That's the green marker. We'll see that in the next video, in Liverpool, and we'll see more as to how inside that city we found out where to invest. And that's going to be an interesting one. So see you in the next one. Send me an emails to info@propertycashflow.co.uk, and yeah, we'll take it from there. Thank you very much. See you there.